everyone, I am Aishwarya from Certometer. I will welcome you all to the Microsoft Azure Fundamental course, which is also referred by course code AZ-900. As we know that today or tomorrow, startup to enterprise businesses will be moving to Azure Cloud. If you are an individual who are looking forward to demonstrate basic knowledge of cloud services, then you have selected the right course because this course is designed for all those professionals and the beginners who possess technical and non-technical background. Let's go ahead and understand exam perspective guidelines given to clear this certification. There would be around 40 to 60 questions that you will be solving. All those questions would be based on multiple choices, and the duration of the exam would be 85 minutes and the passing score is 700. Going forward, which includes exam objective, we have identified the weightage of the scores. So by end of this course, one should able to understand what is cloud and how cloud came into picture. So that is in a topic 1, describe cloud computing. We will know about core Azure services. We will list some of the core solution and management tool on Azure. And then we will also go through general security and network security features. Along with that, we will identify between identity, governance, privacy, and compliance feature. And one of the topic which contain Azure cost management and service level agreements with Azure. Each of the module has its own weightage, and going further, we will cover each objective and sub-objective of this course. So the module 1 has more percentage compared to any of the other modules. That is because here we are actually talking about cloud computing, and we will have in-depth knowledge on the first module, which will help you understand the upcoming modules. So let's go ahead and start with module 1. Today's agenda includes introduction to cloud and Microsoft Azure cloud offering. And if I'm storing my data in Azure environment, then how much am I responsible for the data that I'm storing in their data center? So that is something we will be covering in shared responsibility model. We will differentiate between categories and types of cloud. We will go through CapEx and OpEx. Then we will discuss about Azure core services. Also, we will have a lab session where I will take you to the Azure portal, where we'll be testing the knowledge so that we will be in the same page. Also go through the questions that will be actually coming onto your exam, because the question that I will ask you to solve would be the question that will actually be appearing on your exam as well. I will be starting this by asking a very beginner level question, that is, what is cloud computing? So the cloud computing is the delivery of computing servers, storage. Let me talk about database, networking, software, analytics, and intelligence. All this over the internet. So that means your organization, that is your on-premise data center, is of no use. When your organization start making some profit in terms of software, databases, networking, extra resources as your organization reach another milestone, and suppose that is not required in your future, then you have to scale down because you're not using it. Whereas in cloud computing, it has been eliminated where you were not able to achieve from having on-premise infrastructure, giving you the unlimited speed, and the way you pay only for the resources you're using is the concept which the company identified, the main reason for company to start adopting it. Earlier, most of the enterprise company has been purchasing and maintaining computing capacity, and they understood doing it for them itself, it's very expensive as it takes a lot of manpower to maintain it. It all made a sense for them to share the resources for economical reasons. This is how the idea of sharing computing resources, that is cloud computing, came into picture. Later on, many big companies started to adopt cloud technology, which marked another major milestone, and since then cloud has been growing and evolving at a rapid rate. Talking about Microsoft Azure, they owns and maintain numerous data centers around the world, and for companies of all sizes to host their organization resources, as Microsoft will be managing behalf of them. Being at home, you can have the secure connection, having the virtual network of your company. As a result, large-scale cloud computing is now accessible to everyone. In February 2010, Microsoft released Microsoft Azure, which was announced in 2008. Azure uses this large-scale virtualization at Microsoft data center worldwide, and it offers more than 500 services. And we'll only talk about the services that has to be covered for fundamental exam topic. We know there are multiple vendors who provide cloud as a service, and the leading cloud provider are Amazon Web Services, DigitalOcean, Salesforce, Alibaba Cloud, IBM Cloud, Google Cloud, and mainly Microsoft Azure. All this cloud provider promises the main 5 features when we talk about public cloud. That is high availability, scalability, elasticity, agility, and disaster recovery. In terms of disaster recovery, it is about eliminating the single point of failure to ensure continuous operation or uptime for an extended period. It would guarantee you there would be 99.99% of uptime for your services that is running on cloud. Scalability. It's an ability of a system to handle increased load. In terms of on-premise, when there is increased load or traffic that your on-premise cannot handle, you have to buy the resources as quickly as possible to receive all the traffic. But on cloud, whenever there is a huge number of traffic, it just takes a click of configuration. It creates an expandable resources without waiting to buy and provision them. Elasticity means it's an ability to adopt workload changes by provisioning and deprovisioning resources automatically. That means when there is large number of traffic, it means that you have to provision a lot of resources at a time, where it will itself automatically scale in and scale down depending upon the traffic that you are receiving. Agility is an ability to adjust resources to meet the changes in demand. It's more of a speed and flexibility a cloud offers to its customer. Disaster recovery is nothing but having data backup. So storing critical data, and once you have faced and lost your resources running on cloud, this particular data that has been stored would be there for you to ensure that there would be no loss of data. Understanding fault tolerant, high availability, and disaster recovery is more important while taking Microsoft Azure exam, because you will encounter a lot of questions coming up with this as an option. I will simplify these services for you. When I say fault tolerant, it means that it gives 100% uptime. That means there would be no downtime. And high availability also promises 99.999 uptime. Fault tolerance has strong redundancy. In terms of high availability, it has weak redundancy, and compared to fault tolerant, the cost is minimal. Even though fault tolerant system seems extremely similar to HA, but goes one step further by guaranteeing zero downtime. So HA still comes with a small portion of downtime, hence the ideal of perfect HA strategy reaching 5 nines rather than 100% uptime. Fault tolerance also uses backup component that automatically take the place of failed component, ensuring no loss of services. In HA, there would be a point in time loss in a service, but again, it promises 99.999% of uptime. And you don't have to actually configure disaster recovery. It means having critical data backup when you have a setup of fault tolerant and high availability system. I hope you have understand what fault tolerance is, high availability, and disaster recovery actually means. But let us more concentrate on the definition of fault tolerance, disaster recovery, dynamic scalability, and low latency. A cloud service that remains available after a failure occurs. It means it's a fault tolerance. In question, they might tell a cloud service that can be recovered after a failure occurs. That means you have to select the option disaster recovery. And if a question asks you to identify A cloud service that performs quickly when demand increases, that means you'll be going with dynamic scalability. And if a question relates to low latency, that means it is a cloud service that can be accessed quickly from the internet. This is some of the definition that I have covered from the simulation test that you will be taking after this course, because simulation will help you understand from exam perspective. Solving most of the questionnaire from Certometer will give you clear idea about which types of question you will be getting for the exam. As we have completed most of the topic, I will ask you a relevant question on the topic that has been just completed so that we will have a knowledge test here. So let's go through this question. You have an on-premise network that contains several servers. You plan to migrate all of the servers to Azure, and you need to recommend a solution to ensure that some of the servers are available if a single Azure data center goes offline for an extended period. What should you include in the recommendation? Option: fault tolerance, elasticity, scalability, and low latency. Your time starts now. Time's up. So the correct answer is fault tolerance. If you have selected fault tolerance, then you're on the point, because the point that you have to identify here from the question to select the correct answer is some of the servers are available if a single Azure data center goes offline. So that means the option is fault tolerance. And for all of them who have selected the right answer, you have done a great job. And the people who might have got a little bit confusion, I want you to go back and revise the topic again so that we can move to the next topic.